All right, welcome to Chuck and Mash. It's Monday, February 2nd,
Yep.
2026. So we just got over this ice storm that just pretty much, handled the whole United States for I don't know how many days. I think there's still a few states, you were saying earlier, in our, lead up to everything, that there's still a few states that have a little bit of aftermath going. So how did you fare in all this? What happened with you? Did you okay?
Man, when I go to the store, I'll buy for the whole month because I hate going to the store. I hate dealing with people. So I'd already done all my shopping. I was good to go. And when they reported that the storm was going to come in and how bad it was going to be, the only thing I had to do was hit up the liquor store, and then I could just ride it on out. I did really good the whole time. About halfway through, I ended up getting pneumonia. So I had a few days of hacking and coughing and dealing with that. Still recovering. So y'all gonna be hearing me doing some coughing. Um, I did get news today that a friend of mine out in Tennessee is still in day 9 with no power.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But we're also talking about a town where sunshine will knock out your power. So that's to be expected. Um, it was 9 hours ago. She saw the power company for the first time, and
9 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they told her they're to come back with a crew, so she's hoping she actually gets to see them again. But
Yeah.
9 days, no power, and this is America. Roads are clear. Ain't no shit left out there. I know that we're in Midland, Texas, but that's wild. That's wild. We're supposed to be the most developed nation on earth, and we're still going this long without power
Right.
after the storm.
Yeah, I mean, it was sunny 65 here today. I mean, it was beautiful. We still have a little bit of ice,
Well, that's mainly going to be
the shaded areas.
I'd say the shadows of buildings is where you're still going to see some.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I did pretty good as well. Of course, I, prepared like it was Armageddon. I had, all of everything out. I had everything out. I had plastic sheeting like I was going to cordon off, one of my rooms, and we were going to be living there like it was, the end days, but I just figure if you over prepare, if you, get ready, in advance, that you're just that much better off. I mean, I did not run to the store and panic buy because I wasn't one of those people that need to do that. So
I did stop by the store right before it hit because for some reason, I guess I was pregnant. I had this hankering for crackers, summer sausage, and stone ground brown mustard. I already had 2 of those ingredients. I just need to grab the summer sausage. So I go up in Walmart. Dude, it is wiped out. Apparently, if you're getting snowed in, French toast is the way to go. Milk, bread, and eggs.
Yeah, French toast.
And
I like that.
I go over there where the summer sausage and jerky stuff is. All your preserved foods, it has a shelf life and you don't have to cook it, was all still there. Your perishables fucking gone.
Right.
But
well, there was one other thing I was reading on preparedness and things like that, and looking at Facebook posts and just seeing, just social media in general. And I did see where someone had mentioned what are they going to do if the power goes out, and what to do if their deep freezer and their refrigerator turns off.
Throw your shit outside? Dangerous refrigerator.
I just thought, is this the state of our country right now? That we are just so commercialized. And you were talking about it is, why don't we have the power on yet and things like that. But it shows how spoiled we are. I mean, you have a natural refrigerator that is happening outside of your house. Now, granted, some of it may be a little more refrigerated than you wanted to. But, I actually pulled one of the coolers out and thought, okay, the stuff that I actually don't want to freeze, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the cooler, like a reverse cooler type system. Like I want it to hold not frozen, and that's going to go outside,
Yeah.
But yes.
Well, if you remember last month when we recorded, we just kept the beer and everything out in the driveway.
Right. I mean, because
It was colder than
that's what I'm
hell.
saying. I don't need ice. I don't need all of this stuff. I mean, because it's just naturally there. Sorry that you actually have to, put it in a receptacle and take it outside and find a place to put it. Maybe that was an issue for the people talking. I don't know. But I was just like, man, the mentality of us in general.
That reminds me of a meme I saw years ago. Hopefully, I can find it, put it up on screen for y'all. But this person had, it was an ungodly amount, like 6 foot of snow, and they just opened their door and they had just jammed all the groceries into the snow.
Yes.
So their front door was like their fridge. They opened it up, pulled out a drink, and closed it back.
It's amazing. It's like, you see ice fishermen. I think about that too. They pull the fish out. Well, they just throw it. They just throw it up there. I mean, it's just sitting there frozen solid by the time you get done to go home. You don't need a stringer when you're ice fishing, So, but anyway, it was just a kind of a funny that went on with that. We did really well through it. No power outages.
Oddly enough, my lights were flickering before the storm,
Right.
before the rain, dang it, before the sleet. My lights was flickering, but it didn't actually go out.
I just remember you saying that, and I thought you were saying something about, it looks like that there may be some outages already happening.
I thought it was a warning for what was coming, because if it's doing that before anything happens,
well, at least you get an indicator. I kind of think about just waking up into blackness and nothing. And that's what I was preparing everyone for. Of course, I had to go to work and leave the wife here. And so I'm just running through these scenarios, which I suggest everyone do. Don't wait till the last second and go down and buy all the ramen at Walmart and think that that's going to get you through something like this.
That's one thing I have pushed for years. Don't wait till the last second to buy it. Put aside $20 a paycheck and get you something. Be it one of those little burners for chafing dishes, water, ramen. Just get you something that's long-term, shelf-stable. And over time, you will build stuff up, because this isn't something that happens like every week. Especially for Texas, this is once every 4 years or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big thing. Is we've historically not been ready for this type of dip that it did. And I think we were pretty lucky in the fact that it wasn't as bad as what they had called for. And I agree with that. In fact, I mean, you were one of the people that, got me inspired to actually get a little more ready than
one extra pack of toilet paper.
Yes.
Just simple little shit, and just put that up in the closet.
Please go buy toilet paper in the off season. Why in the hell all of a sudden is that our go-to? I mean, it seemed like in the 90s, it was the gas station.
Yeah, everybody had to fill up the car.
Which I agree with. That's one thing that's to me not a panic buy, but that's what you're going to see me doing in this situation, because whenever you get stuck, and if you haven't had forethought to have a heat source in your house, and it just gets down to it, you can go outside and you can get in that car and you can run it, and you can run the heat. Now, make sure it's not in your garage and with the door, or maybe it is. I mean, that's up to you. But, I just don't advise in things like that.
Two things. Don't do it in the garage. And if you're outside, make sure the tailpipe isn't covered with snow. Like if there's a bunch of snow on the ground, make sure the exhaust can come out.
Right. And, it doesn't mean that you plan on trekking 300 miles in the snow. It just means that you have some kind of thing to use, if in that situation. So, we fared well. And, going into that, I wanted to talk about ERCOT. Because whenever this was forecasted and whenever this come down, the immediate subject of a lot of people, we all did bring up from 2021, whenever Texas and ERCOT failed miserably. The Governor Abbott did go on and say that, that he believes that ERCOT is ready for this, and that we've never been more prepared. Of course, I was very skeptical of that, because Abbott says a whole lot of things. And that's great, but it looks like it's on the up and up. I mean, they really did well. I'm sure there's some localized, power that went out here and there, but I didn't hear of any just crazy outages that lasted too long. Thank you to all our linemen out there. I mean, for sure, them guys they don't only work then, but they do work where none of us would ever trek and go.
Oh, yeah.
Minus the ice fishermen and crab fishermen. I mean, to me, that's an insane job. They're the ones that are called out whenever we're hunkered down trying to just stay warm. So it was amazing. On the ERCOT deal, they passed with flying colors. I believe that there was something I was reading, 80 something deaths. Of course, we don't
State
want
or
to.
nationwide?
Yeah, it's nationwide.
That ain't bad.
That's what I'm
I've
saying.
seen more in one state and one storm.
I hate to outline that as a plus if someone lost a loved one in this, but historically, man, the numbers get crazy.
350 some odd million people.
Yeah.
And 80, that's a really low amount.
Right.
And do we know what caused it? Was it because they lost power? Was it because they couldn't get to a hospital because they had a medical emergency? Somebody goofing off outside, fall and hit their head? I don't have the statistics on it, but yes, it was 80, but I think it's actually fairly well.
But you're right, in that. I mean, I didn't look at those statistics. Of course, I'm just trying to look at what ERCOT did, and I know
the devil's in the details.
From my perspective, it worked out really well. So we have to give credit where it's due. But they've done a lot of improvements. One thing that I didn't really even look into because I've always been skeptical. They burnt me on that last one. I didn't go without power. Don't get me wrong. But to see the aftermath of what happened in 2021, I was like, this is a massive failure. And the reason why I was so critical of the whole thing is because we're so hard-headed in Texas. We're so hard-headed. We're like, we're not going to tie into the national grid. We're going to have our own thing. And Greg Abbott is notorious for private entities. Greg Abbott and a lot of, the conservative movement are all about not the socialist part of this, where we can use the government to have our own thing and we can, work with others beyond the grid of the rest of the U.S. No, we have to have our own, and we have to have a private company that's running it. And so I've always been very critical of Abbott and his MO, and ERCOT is definitely, a private entity. But I applaud them for, the improvements. And I pulled up, that's what I was dinking around here for. But here's some of the stuff that they did. And, weatherization of energy plants and constant inspections. If you remember in 2021, I think there was like a big headline of talking about those inspections. Do you remember how that went with the inspections?
I remember there was a lot of people complaining because they had not winterized their equipment and systems,
right?
And they were warned in advance to do that. They were told previous years, get ready for it, and they just didn't fucking do it.
Right. And I remember one story, and I'm sure I'm off, but whatever. But there was something about when they questioned one of the engineers or tech. It was actually a tech or something, not an engineer. He was brand new to the company. The inspections were so far behind, and there was some instances of kind of like pencil whooping the log there that said what they were doing.
Yeah, sure I did. Yeah, everything good.
Massive failure. So, cheers to ERCOT on that. They plan to have completed at least 450 inspections between December and February. They started a real-time co-optimization plus battery system. So, whereas before we would get these emails and then they were asking us to actually load our thermostats onto something where people were talking about they were automatically lowered by, I guess, ERCOT. To me, that's wild. That turned me off immediately there and then. I was like, man, I'm going to run how I'm going to run no matter what.
Fucking America, damn it.
That's right. And
I will have this bitch at 90 degrees and pay the bill because money talks and bullshit walks.
no, it's at 72 because that gas bill that I was talking about last time, I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, it's definitely stuck on 72, but I did stay warm through it. Implemented
I
last,
keep mine at 62. You got to keep these mashed potatoes
yeah,
refrigerated.
with the fan going.
Yes.
But yeah, implemented last month, the system aims to better allocate grid resources. The ERCOT Contingency Reserve Service, ECRS, reserve power ready for deployment within 10 minutes to match unexpected demand. Now, to me, that is the answer. To me, that is a whole lot better than you putting out on the news that I need to run my house at 87 degrees during 107 West Texas heat. You're out of your freaking mind if you think that I'm going to not run my house at 68 during that time because, man, I work a lot and I work hard and we're going to be comfortable here. I expect you to keep up with it, and so, kudos to them. The establishment of the Texas Energy Reliability Council, TERC, established clear communications between ERCOT, the Public Utilities Commission, the Texas Department of Emergency Management, and the gas and energy industries. Like I say, this is some of the things that they've done since 2021, and I just really wanted to give them, those accolades for what they've done and acknowledge that we did have power here in Texas. Now, your friend, you said Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Georgia, Alabama,
Tennessee?
Savannah, Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right there in the Tennessee Valley where the Tennessee River dips down into Alabama. It's just right there above that.
Okay. As soon as you say Savannah, I'm thinking Georgia.
Everybody does because the only thing in Savannah, Tennessee is corruption. That's their number one export. I mean, it's a shithole. I know people love it and they fucking ride or die. They're born there, fucking Savannah, 100%. I go there and they just need to put a dome over this and nuke it.
Well, obviously, we're doing better than Savannah, Tennessee. So,
that's not saying much.
So good for us. I hope your friend, makes it out of here.
9 days, dude. 9 days and counting.
That's wild.
Yeah, dude.
There has to be, we are proud of things here in Texas. Like I say, everything Greg Abbott says, I take with a grain of salt. But at this one, he was ready. He had them there. ERCOT delivered. And I hope that, my outrageous freaking energy bills have finally paid off, so kudos to them. So another thing, in the news that's coming up, the Super Bowl. Super Bowl February 8th.
Hell yeah.
On Sunday. It's going to be...
I'm excited. Here's why I'm excited, okay? Because MAGA fucking just jerks off to giving it to the libs, right? And now we're giving it to them. They're finally getting it. And I'm watching them just get all pissed off and red-faced and squirming, all because they don't know Puerto Rico is part of the United States.
Oh, you're talking about Bad Bunny?
Yes.
Halftime show. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I was talking about in general.
Because they ain't backing down.
I knew we were going to get into that. But yeah, Super Bowl 60, Sunday at 5:30. It's at the Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California.
Shit, I think I'm working.
The Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. So there it is, Super Bowl 60. Yes, Bad Bunny is going to be headlining the halftime show. And like you said, it has just caused the biggest controversy amongst the people that I thought weren't already watching because of Colin Kaepernick anyway. So, why are we back revisiting with these same people?
I don't know. It just chaps their ass, and I'm here for it. I don't even know who the fuck Bad Bunny is. Right. So by God, I'll buy an album.
Right. Well, one thing about the Bad Bunny thing when it came up, I was like, "Hey, this is really cool. I love culture. I love different things, and it's really not affecting my life whatsoever. Who plays at the halftime show?
It's not even his first time performing there.
Right. Exactly.
What does it matter?
But the polarization of race and the things that are going on here, a lot of people told on themselves whenever that was that was announced because it was immediately went to, we want ICE to show up there. Now, I'm the proponent, or the person that always talks about this has nothing to do with, well, it has nothing to do with brown people. It has something to do with a whole bigger conspiracy or plan that, we talk about all the time. But immediately, since I brought up a brown person, you immediately went to ICE. You told on yourself. And to me, that was very telling, from a lot of these people. I think it's awesome that Bad Bunny is playing. And I don't know who in the hell Bad Bunny is either. But since that was announced, I did go back and I did some homework on it. I'll pull up some of the things that I looked up on Bad Bunny. But just in general, the fact that this person is like acclaimed through the whole entire world. We're talking about an international star.
Global celebrity, I think, is what that
is how he was described. Definitely.
Future me, just cut this out.
But yes, so when I looked up, about him, he has 35.1 million TikTok followers because that matters these days. Yes. How many TikTok followers you have. The accolades and records. He holds Grammy Awards, Latin Grammy Awards, Billboard Music Awards. He was named Billboard's Artist of the Year in 2022. First Latin artist to headline Coachella, which is cool as hell to me. Total streams, he's got billions of streams, all of that sort of thing. Social video stats, YouTube subscribers, 51.6 million, Instagram followers, 49.9 million. All of these awards, all of these accolades, all of these things that this guy does. Now, I brought up the fact that the people that are so bent out of shape over this are the people that already canceled him over Colin Kaepernick. And I want to make a point with that. Because rather than just being cheeky about it.
I have a point on
right. Rather than just being cheeky and throwing that in there, it just shows in the United States, you have the people that are going to watch this anyway. Okay? Now, the NFL is very much a business, and it's very much a private business. So if I'm a private business and my whole bottom line exists off of viewership, why would I not want an internationally acclaimed artist that's going to get my program and, project and be there for everyone in the world? Because that's going to make me have more viewership. That's going to make me more money.
There's a bigger audience around the world than there is in just the United States? Who would have thunk it?
I don't know. I would have never thought, And so to me, a person like Bad Bunny is exactly who I want, because you're going to get to a more diverse crowd, because this other crowd, they're already there. They're not going nowhere, and they've shown that, because I thought we lost them at Colin Kaepernick, but obviously there was a few stories being told there. So,
well, what I want to touch on with that is why is it that when Tim Tebow takes a knee, everybody starts touching themselves and talk about how great it is and Jeebus and all this shit, and then the brown guy does it. Oh, he needs to be fired. Fuck this. I'm boycotting the NFL.
Yeah. I think it was Donald Trump said, "Get that son of a bitch off the field." Was that like the quote? I hate to quote him and get sued. I don't want to do that. But
get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired.
It was something to that effect. Yeah. So,
he's going to stick you for misquoting him, but you call him a rapist, and nothing happens.
Well, now something finally gave on that, and hopefully we'll touch on that. So anyway, I just wanted to
he touched on them kids too. But.
I wanted to touch on the Super Bowl, and I just wanted to add one more thing. We talked about it in one of the earlier podcasts where I was talking about how they were just fed up. They were like, we don't want, somebody else. How about, they brought up a bunch of different country stars. They brought up Metallica. It's already in Santa Clara, California. This would have been really badass for Metallica to sign on and do this.
I don't know. Have they finally stopped crying about Napster?
Who, Metallica?
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost me with that in the 90s. But I mean, Metallica's Metallica. They sell out every stadium they go to. It would have been a rocking, crazy show. But Metallica doesn't need the clout. And one thing that I think that people don't understand about the Supertime halftime show, they're not paid for that. You don't get paid for playing at the Super Bowl halftime show. Your production is paid for by them. Whatever show you want to put on, if you want pyro and you want all of this other stuff, they do foot the bill for that. You do not get a paycheck for playing there, period. You have to pretty much come and do that. And, just as soon as they announced this, of course, I love scrolling Facebook and looking at reactions. It was like, I'm not going to pay this. Why would they pay this? Why would they do this and that had to do with it? And it was like, man, don't you understand where this even comes from? And, the other thing I wanted to get to is there was this huge backlash. And I just have to attribute it that it was a person of color, or it was just a person that wasn't an old white dude, or wasn't a country singer, or some kind of conservative person in general. I think that's just what they wanted. And not to go all the way down that, rabbit hole there, it was like, okay, well, you wanted a white guy, right? You wanted a white guy for the Super Bowl? So here you go. You get Green Day as the opening credits whenever we first start doing the opening of that. Who is the biggest Trump hater in the United States? I mean, I want him to do American Idiot.
That's something else. It was really killing me because people were talking about, well, why is Green Day suddenly getting political? Why now? It's like, they've always been. Rage Against the Machine just now got
right up here on the wall.
Are we
going to talk about next if raging? I mean, there's literally the picture of the Buddhist that set himself on fire. Yes. And if people don't know that story, I would love for us to get into that.
We can do an episode about historical stuff.
But you're telling me that Rage hasn't always been political. Pink Floyd hasn't always been political. But yes, you hear those things, and I'm like, where have you been? Like, where have you been? All of these.
Have you ever heard music before?
Most of it is political. So yes, Green Day opening up for the Super Bowl. I'm excited about that. I see clips from their shows where he really does go over the top. When I go to a concert, even if it's my political side, I don't know if I really want to get into that. But when he sings American Idiot, he says, I don't want to be part of the redneck agenda. Well, he's permanently now changed that to MAGA. So now he says, I don't want to be part of the MAGA agenda. Everybody goes ape shit. Half of them leave. It's stupid. Whatever.
Well, here's the thing. And I was listening to something earlier today about how music was always supposed to be, or has been, about counterculture.
Right.
And they were even bringing up, the 1960s, where our parents were the ones at Woodstock. They're the ones protesting at college campuses. They were the counterculture then. But now, all of a sudden, why is the counterculture wrong? Why is political speech and music wrong when it's always been that way? Music has always been about talking about things you don't like, or things that you love, or your struggles in life, and things going on in the world today. And that right there was literal lyrics. But why now is it a problem? Because it's not some Bud Light can shooting white trash wannabe Southerner who's from fucking Detroit.
Right. Rich kid.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, no joke.
Right.
And that's something else. A lot of folks are talking about how these performers and musicians, they came from nothing. Now, most of them came from fucking money. Taylor Swift came for fucking money.
Oh, yeah.
Kid Rock came for fucking money. They had connections. That's how they got found. That's how they got popular. Fucking Bieber had connections. Well, his parents did. So don't even try to come.
I thought Bieber visited Diddy, and that's how he made his.
That he might have got diddled by Diddy for all I know, but no, his parents
Oh,
actually
we're
did.
canceled.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Thanks, everybody. It was a good show. But no, seriously, his parents had connections, and he had
right.
actual formal training. But it just now hit me. There always has to be balance. There always has to be yin and yang, good and evil,
Right.
balance in the force. So if Green Day and Bad Bunny are performing at the Super Bowl, what's going to be the opposite of that?
Right. And that's what I was actually, getting into just now. So for months now, you look on your Facebook, as soon as Bad Bunny was, announced, Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk immediately denounced all of that stuff. And, they want their conservative halftime show. So they're actually doing a counter move to it. Talk about yin and yang. This is exactly what they're, but they've been talking about it for months and months. And what's funny is I had been planning on, of course, this is the show before the Super Bowl, so I knew that we were going to have to touch on the Super Bowl at some point. And I had already had ready to tell you that, Turning Point USA keeps teasing that they're going to do this, or is this just some bot on Facebook? Because I keep seeing all these posts of like 6 people AI generated, and it'll have like Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton, and the people that you already
those rat wingers, the fucking Willie fucking pot smoking Nelson.
Yeah, Willie Nelson. I mean, you're kidding me, right? And so I was going to bring up and say, hey, is this thing just going to happen? Like, or is this just some phantom thing that y'all brought up? But literally today, at some point of the day, mid-afternoon is when I found it. They did announce who was going to be headlining the Turning Point USA halftime show, alternative, whatever the hell you want to call that. They want you to turn the TV over to it. And it's nothing other...
Right-wing conservative is now considered alternative. Right. What the fuck world are we living in?
And it's nothing other than who we all expected and who we all knew it was going to be was Kid Rock himself.
Kid Rock!
I mean,
imagine my surprise.
It really is. And, I looked up, I wanted to look it up because there's 3 other people named, and I've never heard of them in my whole entire life. And I'm sitting here scrolling.
I just had a thought, on one channel, you're going to have Green Day playing 21 Guns. You flip it over to TPUSA, and it's Nicki Minaj singing about how her cooter can get smashed and the size of dick she can take or whatever it is.
I mean, I can confirm.
And that's their family-friendly Christian
Nicki Minaj
values.
has not announced a showing at this. Like I said, it was Kid Rock and just 3 complete no-names. I mean, complete no-names. I expected it to be someone, like some, woman country singer. Yes, Nicki Minaj and her new, alignment with MAGA and things like that, because Turning Point USA has apparently very much started to embrace her after the spokesperson of Turning Point USA before his
Is she going to change her lyrics to about how much Jesus she can jam inside her?
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I had to. I'm going to hell.
Gosh. Yeah.
I can feel the fiery flames of hell upon me now.
Most likely. So, but yes, so apparently it was confirmed today that Turning Point USA is actually going to have it after I was very skeptical and have been for a while, and it was nothing other than the person I would have bet my entire paycheck on being. Now, I know this is not a topic that we talked about, having, but it just came to me, and I definitely want to go into this. I don't have a lot of specifics on what he's doing, but speaking of Kid Rock, the dude's very over. He's really political. He's just homeboys with Donald Trump. Ted Cruz, put something in the news the other day where Kid Rock came by his office and he just thought that was cool for some reason. This cocaine addict. But I do want to recognize something really cool that Kid Rock is doing. He's been in, Senate and House hearings here lately. And this guy is actually advocating, whereas people like Taylor Swift and a lot of other artists have touted and said that they were going to do this. They spoke out against it, but nothing ever happened. And Kid Rock is actually getting with them and advocating and actively working to remove some of this craziness in ticket sales. Like when you get online and you order through Ticketmaster, or if you order through, StubHub, all these other entities, you look and already, inflation or just whatever, they're just proud of their stuff. You look and your ticket's $150. You're like, okay, well, shit. Okay, that's pretty steep, but, okay, give me two. Let me pick where it's at. You go to check out, and this $300 ticket for two tickets for you and another person or whatever, $150 ticket, we're talking about 40 to like 70% markup by the time you get to the end of it.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of ticket sales. Like a single ticket be over $1,000 for some of these concerts.
Oh, no. I mean, no, there's some insane ones.
I went to Monster Jam. Yeah, I'm going to name drop you. 2 tickets and pit passes over $250,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well,
and most of that was not the ticket cost. It was all the add-ons
right.
and convenience fees, and ain't a damn thing about it convenient.
Right.
Like because it was digital tickets. Like I kept having to pull that thing up so much to get through security. My phone was dying.
Yeah.
Like I'm flipping out because I'm at like 19%.
Because you're having to scan the little barcode that they got to scan. Yeah.
If I got no screenshots, it has to be animated.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it was a whole effing process. And of course, signal sucked.
Yeah.
Sell me a fucking ticket. It's not like the place was packed.
Right.
It was don't get me wrong, it was a good show, but it was a big ass stadium, downtown Nashville. Not even a fifth of the tickets or the seats were filled. There's no need for that level of security when you can just sell tickets right there at the booth.
Right.
When I was a kid, we'd go see a ball game, whatever. Just walk up, 2 tickets in this section. Boom, you got it. You didn't have convenience fees on top of convenience fees on top of convenience
fees. On top of processing fees. On top of, it was insane.
It's fucking ridiculous.
But we talk about the affordability and the cost of it. That's always kind of been a thing. Like you go to a Beyonce show, there's literally tickets for $70,000 if you want to go behind and meet and all of this other stuff. I was talking about the add-on specifically. Like you were talking about StubHub and
they introduced a middleman. They actually brought in a middleman to increase cost.
And to me, that's just insane. So kudos to Kid Rock. I don't think he's near the intelligence level of
a shoe found in a ditch.
Well, no, I was talking about the guy in the 70s that was the rocker, the "we're not going to take it" guy.
From Twisted Sister, Dee Snider.
Dee Snider. I mean, I don't know that he could speak on that level, but I also don't want to discredit him for that.
And if you want, he's doing. If you want to see something bad as hell, go watch Dee Snider speaking to Congress.
Yes.
Dude, Nancy Reagan was not ready for this shit.
Dude, it was impressive. And I saw that.
They thought he was just going to be some drunken fool that walks in there, and he spoke at a college level. The man is educated. He knew his shit. It was epic. It's historical. It's literally part of American history. Go watch it.
It will kind of change and make you realize, that these guys didn't get there a lot of them didn't get there just by being drunken idiots and, knowing an instrument or whatever.
They're playing 3 chords.
Yeah, a lot of them are, very much geniuses and they know what they're talking about.
Right.
Another thing that he is battling, again, kudos to him. Some of the times when you do go on to get this ticket, if you get on Ticketmaster, they'll say, hey, at midnight, ticket sales are going to start. The show for so-and-so is going to drop at midnight. And you get on there and you get on your Ticketmaster and you find your seats that you want and you kind of rumble around for a minute because you're like, oh, well, that costs this much. I think I can afford this level, right? You know?
You're gonna be
look
able
at
to
all,
nosebleed.
yeah, you look at all the different letters, and you're like, and you go to check out, and it's not there. There's nothing available. And that's one of the things that Kid Rock is, trying to combat because of the amount of bots that we have and what we have
bots
AI.
and scalping.
Yes. And so what they're doing is they're immediately going in and they're buying every one of them up. So now you're not only paying this service fee that you were talking about, this other fees and fees and fees and fees. Now you're paying those fees. Now the scalper has it and reselling it. And so, I don't know the laws because I haven't looked that far into it. I was just kind of, piggybacking off of the Super Bowl thing. But yeah, kudos to him. I hope we can get done with scalpers in this day and age because, like you said, you had to scan how many barcodes to get where you're at, but yet we can't
At
keep
every juncture.
right. But yet we can't keep the online, scalpers and hackers from buying all this stuff up and just railing it up more. So
Spitballing an idea here, why can't a portion of those sales or a portion of those tickets only be available at the ticket counter? Maybe 10, 15% of them. Make it to where you can only buy those tickets in person right before the show.
Too much variable.
Yeah, but you're gonna cut down on how many people can use AI and bots and all that bullshit to buy them in advance. Plus, airlines kind of been doing that thing where you can get standby tickets. So if somebody doesn't show up last minute, standby people, you fly for $10.
There you go.
Yeah, like I said, I'm spitballing an idea. Maybe it'll work. Maybe,
but why would
it'll help out a little bit.
I mean, you're talking about capitalistic society, though. That money's in hand. You're talking about that money is in hand already. It's already been bought. It's right here. It was a credit card, and I love that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking about customer satisfaction. What the fuck was I?
No, we are not in that age.
My bad.
We'll just take the W where we can get it, and hopefully this ends up being a W for Kid Rock and all of
How shitty of a business plan do you have to make us agree with Kid Rock?